You want me to do, listen, there's probably never more important times than with the buyers to really understand the communication, how you go about this. And I know one of the techniques is paraphrasing, because you cannot be on the wrong page with them. Can you explain what that looks like?
Well, paraphrasing is just simply restating back to somebody what their issue is. If you said to me, I don't want to work with a real estate agent, I might say to you something like, so what I hear you telling me is that you think it's more in your best interest to continue to sell your home privately than to engage the services of a real estate professional.
So it really shows your sincerity and interest.
Yeah.
Restated so they know you're listening, right? That's, it just kind of changes the whole demeanor, right? So it's not combative.
Paraphrasing is a way to lower the temperature in the room, to create engagement, to look and feel more thoughtful, more considerate, and to project yourself as someone who's sincerely interested in what they're trying to accomplish. It slows everything down and gets it into a more rational environment. So when they say, so what I hear you telling, you can say, so what I hear you telling me is that you just think it's a better deal for you and you would make more money from your home working on your own than with a qualified professional. I get that. Don't underestimate paraphrasing. If you don't believe me, work with your kids or your spouse or whatever and just do a little paraphrasing and you're going to find that you have some really rich conversations. And
I agree completely. I mean, it really does change things. How about your whole idea of disclosure? When you, maybe way to make you human. Can you give me an example of that?
Well, the next one that I want to talk about, in addition to disclosure, is clarifying. Clarifying looks like this. So you said to me that you thought that house was worth too much or wasn't worth that. Or let's say you say this house, $300,000 house, is too much for that house. Well, maybe they're telling you they don't think the home is worth the money, or maybe they think they have problems with affordability. So I might say to you a clarifying question. I say, just so I'm clear in my thinking, Phil, are you telling me that you think this house is just not worth it? Or you have some concerns about the payment structure for a $300,000 house? Where are we at? Do you love the house but hate the payment?
Got it.
Okay, so get clarity and be careful when you're responding to objections. Don't jump to the conclusion that they think it's a value issue and run yourself up a tree, okay? Because you know what? If they think that they love this house, it's a $300,000 house, but they can't afford it, and you're talking about why the house is worth the money, you look aggressive and you look stupid. So, make sure that you understand what they're talking about. Disclosure is something I used to use a lot when I was younger and I was in front of people and I'd say, Carl, I got to be honest with you, you look like you're scared to death. And they're like, yeah, I kind of am. Say, man, I get that. When I came in the real estate business, I bought a house and I was and it was a complicated, complex, terrifying experience for me. And the interesting part to me was it was a great exercise in empathy for me because I'd been in the real estate business for 4.5 years and it still scared the heck out of me. So what does that do for you? It normalizes that fear for that client. It says that's part of the process. It's normal for you to be anxious about this. Tell a story. If you can't tell a story about yourself, tell a story about a client that has a happy ending.
That's why we tell stories, right?
Yeah, third party the story. People love stories, okay? And they make great points. It's how we communicate with one another is through stories. So that's a little bit about paraphrasing and clarifying and disclosure. These are far more powerful than they look, okay?
Dennis,